When a brother goes missing, does the other one enter hell to find him? What if this hell is the bloodiest front of World War II? In today's story, you'll hear the incredible journey of 19-year-old Tommy Richardson, who crossed enemy lines to find his missing older brother. If you have similar stories, send them to our email address in the description. Maybe your story will be the subject of our next video.
It was the cold December of 1944. Snow had begun to fall slowly in the small town of Millfield, Ohio. I was Tommy Richardson, 19 years old, tall, with chestnut brown hair and blue eyes. Despite my face that my mother called my beautiful boy, storms were raging inside me, because my older brother Michael had gone missing on the European front 6 months ago. Michael was 3 years older than me. I remember the first time I saw him. Actually, no. I always remember him. He was a man with broad shoulders, strong hands, and laughter that filled every corner of our house. He had green eyes, just like our father's eyes. His hair was darker brown than mine, and was always neatly combed. Michael was like a hero in my eyes. He was my older brother who protected me from bullies, helped me with my math homework, and sat beside me when I had nightmares at night. That December morning, my mother Sarah was standing in the kitchen. My 50-year-old mother used to be a strong woman, medium height, with graying brown hair that she always wore up. But ever since we received the news that Michael was missing, she seemed to have aged 10 more years. The circles under her eyes had deepened, and her hands had started trembling constantly. "Tommy, please don't do such a thing," my mother said, pleading in her voice. Because I had told her I wanted to volunteer for the army. "I've already lost one son. I don't want to lose you too." But I had already made my decision. I had to find my older brother. Michael wasn't just missing. He was my hero, my protector, my best friend. How could I live without finding him? I joined the army in January 1945. My basic training took place at Fort Benning in Georgia. Among the other soldiers I met there was someone special, William Bill Thompson. Bill was a cheerful kid from Alabama with reddish hair, freckles, and a happy disposition. Our friendship was established from the first day because we were both young and homesick. "Tommy, you're different," he had said to me one evening. "The other boys miss their homes, their girlfriends. You constantly talk about your brother." He was right. Michael was everything to me. In our childhood, our father would leave for work very early, and our mother would be busy with housework. Michael and I looked after each other. He had taught me how to play baseball. When I rode my first bicycle, he ran after me to prevent me from falling. In high school, he protected me from bullies. My training ended in March 1945, and I was sent to Europe. The transatlantic journey was terrible. While the huge ship swayed among the waves of the Atlantic, my stomach churned. But my mind was always on Michael. Had he also come to Europe on one of these ships? Did he also suffer from seasickness? When we arrived in northern France in April, I could see traces of war everywhere. Bombed buildings, destroyed bridges, abandoned tanks. This scenery frightened me. But at the same time, the thought that Michael was somewhere here gave me hope. I was assigned to the 101st Airborne Division. My commander, Sergeant Robert Martinez, was a 50-year-old, Spanish-descended, stern-looking but soft-hearted man, medium height, strong body, with lines on his face bearing the traces of war. His black mustache was always neatly trimmed. "Richardson," he had said to me on the first day, "I heard your brother was in the 82nd Airborne, missing in Normandy. I know you're here to find him, but first do your duty, then I'll help you in your search." Sergeant Martinez's words had comforted me. Maybe I could find Michael, I began to think. My first mission was to clear a small town near the German border. The town's name was Kleinhausen. This place was full of mines left behind by Wehrmacht forces as they retreated. Our job was to make the area safe. That morning, the April sun had just risen, and dewdrops on the grass were sparkling. The town of Kleinhausen looked like a ghost town after the bombings. Windows broken, doors open, streets silent. We could only hear the whistle of the wind and distant cannon sounds. Bill Thompson was walking beside me. "Tommy," he had said, "this silence scares me. It's as if something is about to happen." He was right. When we entered the town, I felt as if enemy soldiers could appear around every corner. But I never lost hope of finding Michael. Maybe he was in these areas too. Maybe he had been captured and was waiting somewhere, hoping to be rescued. When we approached the church in the town center, I saw something. On the church wall, Among the bullet holes, something was written. When I got closer, my heart began to beat rapidly, because there was writing that resembled Michael's handwriting. Mr. Ohio, 1944. Michael Richardson. Ohio. Could this be him? Sergeant Martinez, I shouted. Could you come here? The sergeant came running. When I showed him the writing, his face became serious. Is this your brother's handwriting? I'm sure, I said. Michael always wrote like this, especially this M letter. It's completely his style. At that moment, great hope had sprouted in my heart. Michael was here, or at least he had been here. I could find him. But my joy didn't last long, because as I was leaving the church, I stepped on a mine. The explosion's sound deafened my ears. Suddenly I found myself on the ground. Blood was gushing from my left leg, but I didn't feel pain. Only my determination to find Michael had grown even stronger. Richardson is wounded. Bill shouted, "Medic, call a medic." When the medic came, he was a 30-year-old man named James Patterson with blonde hair and blue eyes. His hand was very steady. His voice had a reassuring tone. "Don't worry, son," he said to me. "This wound isn't very deep. We'll take you to the hospital and clean it up." While lying in the hospital, I constantly thought about Michael. Was that writing really his? If so, where was he now? Was he alive? I was discharged 2 weeks later. Sergeant Martinez called me over. "Richardson," he said, "I've obtained some information about your brother." I talked to my friends from the 82nd Airborne. The last place Michael was seen was a forest near Bastogne. When I received this news, my heart began to beat rapidly. Finally, I had obtained concrete information about Michael. But at the same time, I was also afraid. Bastogne was where the war's most violent clashes took place. In the news I read in the American press, it was written that thousands of soldiers lost their lives there. Michael's fate was uncertain. Bastogne, the place where the Battle of the Bulge took place. In December 1944, the Germans had made their last major attacks there. If Michael was there, Sergeant, is it possible for me to go there? I asked, officially. "No," Martinez said. "But look, Richardson, I also lost a brother. In World War I. I never found him. That's why I understand you. If you really want to go there, we can find a way." With Sergeant Martinez's help, I joined a convoy going to Bastogne. It was May 1945 now. The war was almost over. But my war was just beginning. The road to Bastogne was terrible. Our convoy was passing over bombed bridges, advancing among abandoned tanks. On the roadside, I saw the merciless traces of war. Burned villages, ruined houses, rainwater pooling in craters every kilometer. I felt I was getting one step closer to Michael. When I arrived in Bastogne, I could see traces of the winter battle everywhere. The snow had melted, but the ground was still frozen. In the forests, where clashes had taken place, trees were broken and full of bullet holes. Some tree trunks were completely split in half. Steel fragments, empty shell casings, and small metal pieces could still be found in the soil. This place truly was like hell. There, I began searching the old camps of the 82nd Airborne. I searched for days. In every tent remains, in every foxhole, I was looking for traces of Michael. When it rained, in a ruined building where I took shelter, I found personal belongings left by American soldiers among old newspapers. Broken glasses, torn photographs, keys. Behind each one was a story, a family, a longing. In the evenings, sitting by the campfire, I remembered Michael and our childhood, the fishing methods he taught me, the treehouse we built together, our snowball fights. All these memories made me even more determined. On the third day, I found something in an old bunker in the forest, a soldier's dog tag. It read M. Richardson, Ohio. My heart began to beat so fast that I couldn't breathe. This was Michael's dog tag. I had found him. But where was he? When I examined the bunker in more detail, I found a note. It was written in Michael's handwriting. "If you find this note, please notify my family in Millfield, Ohio. We were taken prisoner. December 15, 1944. Being taken to German prisoner camp. Michael Richardson. Prisoner camp. Michael was alive and in a prisoner camp. That night I couldn't sleep at all. Knowing that my older brother was alive had strengthened my determination to find him even more. But how could I find out which prisoner camp he was in? The next day, I talked to Sergeant Martinez. "Sergeant, I learned that Michael is in a prisoner camp. I need to find him." "Richardson," Martinez said, "the war is ending. Prisoner camps are being liberated. Maybe Michael has already been rescued." These words gave me hope. Maybe Michael was home. Maybe my mother was crying in his arms right now. In mid-May, the war officially ended. Nazi Germany had surrendered. All prisoner camps were being liberated. I also began checking the lists of rescued prisoners. For days I looked at the list. There were thousands of names. I was looking for the surname Richardson, and finally, I found him. Michael Richardson, Ohio, Stalag 17, a prison camp. Rescued alive. May 8, 1945. My older brother was alive. He had been rescued. I cannot describe the happiness I experienced at that moment. For months I searched for him. I found him. I hadn't just found a lost brother. I had also found the meaning of my own life. 2 weeks later, I reunited with Michael in France. The moment I saw him, my eyes filled with tears. He had lost weight. There was fatigue in his eyes, but he was still my hero. Michael, Tommy, he said when he saw me. What are you doing here? I was looking for you, I said. I joined the war to find you. His eyes filled with tears. He hugged me, held me tight with those strong arms. My little brother, he said. Did you do all this for me? What haven't you done for me? I said. You've been protecting me since childhood. Now it was my turn. We returned to America together. When our mother saw us, she almost fainted. Our house had regained its old joy. Michael's laughter was filling every corner again. The war had changed both of us. Michael carried the traces of his captivity days. I had also learned a lot during the process of searching for him. But most importantly, I had understood how strong the bond of brotherhood was. Michael had said to me, Tommy, you saved my life. In the prisoner camp, I lived by thinking of you. I never lost hope that I would see you again. You saved my life too, I told him. By searching for you, I found the meaning of my life. I proved myself. I'm no longer just the little brother. I'm your equal.
This is how Tommy Richardson's incredible story ended. The 19-year-old young man entered hell to find his missing older brother and found him. This story shows us that family bonds can overcome any difficulty. Tommy's sacrifice for his brother demonstrates what true brotherly love means. If you have similar stories, send them to our email address in the description. We can tell your story in our next video. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.